It was hard to fathom what she was asking of me regarding that jar, a genuine tale of betrayal. My name is Mark, and I have always seen myself as a humble, down-to-earth individual, devoted to my family, my work, and the cherished traditions that infuse my life with purpose. Yet, everything transformed during a weekend that would forever linger in memory. It began as a simple outing, a familiar hunting expedition with a stranger, a small gesture for my wife. Yet, what transpired in the woods pushed me to the very limits of my resolve. Broke through the barriers I once deemed unbreakable, and compelled me to face long-buried yearnings I never knew existed. I share this not to invite judgment, but because this tale continues to linger in my mind, and its conclusion remains elusive. As the calendar turns to the first weekend of November, a cherished tradition unfolds, the beginning of deer hunting season, a time that fills my heart with excitement. It transcends the realm of mere pastime. It's a cherished tradition, a pathway to break free from the mundane and rediscover the beauty of the natural world. Typically, my wife Lisa accompanies me to our secluded hunting cabin, a refuge tucked away in 20,000 acres of pristine Missouri woodland. For more than 10 years, we have transformed that land into our own sanctuary, crafting trails, establishing food plots, and refining the cabin to perfection. Yet, this year unfolded in a way that was unlike any other. Not long ago, during a dinner gathering, Lisa revealed that she would not be accompanying me on this occasion. She was chosen to participate in an esteemed series of educational reform gatherings at the state capitol. Though I felt a swell of pride for her achievement, the idea of celebrating my birthday and the hunting opener in solitude lacked any excitement. Typically, I wouldn't have cared, but my wife had been firm, truly insistent, that I shouldn't venture out there by myself, especially not after the heart scare I experienced earlier this year. Her answer, Chloe. Chloe was a colleague of Lisa's, a young woman I had encountered a few times at various school events. She radiated warmth and joy, her spirit vibrant and youthful, a delightful contrast to my own years. Recently divorced, Chloe was weaving through life with a spark of optimism that masked the deeper pain I sensed she was holding within. Lisa had orchestrated a plan for Chloe to accompany me on her inaugural hunting expedition, firmly believing it would benefit us both. In this moment, I would find companionship, and Chloe would embark on a journey of discovery. To claim I was doubtful would barely scratch the surface. I had been eagerly anticipating the peace, the serene mornings in the blind, and the tranquil evenings by the fire, accompanied only by my own reflections. Bringing along a companion, particularly one who couldn't tell a rifle from a fishing rod, was never in the script. As the sun dipped below the horizon on that Friday evening, I eased my way into Chloe's driveway, anticipation swirling in the air. Lisa had woven a request into our day, urging me to sound the horn, a gesture I typically deemed impolite. Yet, I found myself swept up in the moment, acquiescing to her whim. The front door swung open, and there stood Chloe, illuminated by the warm glow spilling from within the house. She carried a load heavy enough to equip a small army, yet her bright smile illuminated the twilight around her. "Greetings, Mark," she exclaimed, her voice radiating with vibrancy and enthusiasm. I stepped out of the truck to lend a hand. She gathered her belongings. "What a remarkable arrangement," I remarked, gesturing towards the impressive stack of bags. She let out a joyful laugh. Lisa urged me to arrive ready. Perhaps I have gone a bit too far. She filled the entire drive to the cabin with her lively chatter, her words weaving a tapestry of stories that danced in the air of the cab. Tales about her job, her separation, and whimsical snippets from her journey. It was a vivid departure from the stillness I had anticipated, yet I found myself quite unbothered by it. Her vibrant spirit was infectious, and I couldn't help but smile, even though I had been hesitant at first. We made our entrance. As the clock struck 9 p.m. at the cabin, the moon bathed the surroundings in a gentle glow. I set to work, flicking on the power and warming up the space, while Chloe gracefully ascended to the loft. As the moment approached, the fire crackled in the wood stove, casting a warm and inviting glow throughout the cabin. I nestled into the great room, flicking on an old war movie, seeking a moment of relaxation. Just as I was starting to relax, Chloe's voice echoed down from the loft. "May I step into the shower, if it pleases you?" she inquired. "Of course, proceed," I responded, my eyes scarcely lifting from the glowing screen before me. A few moments passed, and then I caught the sound of the soft, haunting creak of the spiral staircase echoed through the air. My gaze was drawn to Chloe as she strolled past, enveloped in nothing but a delicate towel. It scarcely enveloped her, shifting as she progressed. My gaze held a moment longer than it ought to have, before I compelled myself to turn my gaze elsewhere. The promise of an intriguing weekend lay ahead. As I settled into the great room, attempting to immerse myself in the war movie flickering on the small TV, my mind wandered. Picture the scene: Chloe gracefully making her way down the stairs, wrapped in nothing but a tiny towel. The dim cabin light danced upon her damp hair, illuminating the gleam of her bare shoulders. An image I had no right to cling to, yet it remained, haunting my thoughts. I reprimanded myself, shaking my head as if to dispel the swirling thoughts within. Chloe was Lisa's colleague, a friend even, and this trip was all about guiding her in the art of hunting, nothing more. The gentle cascade of water from the shower filled the air, accompanied by the sweet melody of Chloe's soft humming. It was pure, bright even. Yet it pulled at a part of me that I wished to keep hidden. With bated breath, I leaned forward in my chair, intent on the screen as the climactic battle scene unfolded before my eyes. Yet, my thoughts began to drift. Chloe, just beyond the bathroom door, her voice weaving through the delicate barriers that separated them. As I felt the weight in my chest, I tightened my fists, summoning all my strength to push away the encroaching thoughts. After what seemed like a timeless stretch, the water ceased its relentless flow. The gentle hum faded away, giving way to the delicate rustle of a towel, and the subtle creak of floorboards as Chloe navigated the bathroom with quiet grace. I remained transfixed by the flickering screen, battling the urge to conjure an image of her presence just beyond that threshold. The film concluded, and I reached for the remote, sifting through the channels in pursuit of a diversion. As Chloe stepped out, her hair, still damp, was enveloped in a second towel. She appeared rejuvenated, her cheeks radiating warmth from the embrace of the shower. With a playful smile, she glided down the staircase, adorned in navy blue shorts and a cropped white top that teased the senses. The shirt danced upward as she moved, unveiling a glimpse of her sculpted stomach. "Are you all prepared for tomorrow's adventure?" I inquired, trying my hardest to keep it laid back. "Indeed," she exclaimed with a bright smile, raising an empty jar of peanut butter high. "This is something I'll hold on to for the future." I arched an eyebrow, a swirl of confusion dancing in my mind, yet I chose to remain silent. She settled onto the sofa beside me, placing the jar gently on the coffee table. The delicate aroma of her shampoo drifted through the air, a harmonious blend of floral notes and sweetness. I shifted uneasily, acutely aware of the tightness of the space that lay between us. "I appreciate you letting me join you this weekend," she said, turning to face me. Her eyes shimmered with a genuine warmth, inviting and bright. Lisa painted a vivid picture of this entire hunting experience, and I can't wait to dive into it and discover what awaits. "Certainly," I responded, mustering a smile. In this serene haven, tranquility reigns, and the presence of diverse wildlife enchants the senses. "Prepare to be captivated." She reclined, drawing her legs beneath her. Her movement captivated me, guiding my gaze to the elegant curve of her thighs. I averted my gaze in haste, silently berating myself. This was shaping up to be more challenging than I had anticipated. For the next hour, we wove tales about the fundamentals of hunting. I guided her through the morning's plan, detailing the gear she would require and the importance of remaining patient in the blind. She absorbed every word, her head nodding in understanding as she posed insightful questions. Yet, from time to time, her eyes would rest on me, a gentle smile playing at the corners of her lips. A smile that I couldn't fully grasp. Unravel. It had a certain spark, a nuance that danced between mere friendship and something more intriguing. As the fire crackled in the wood stove, Chloe stretched, her arms reaching high above her head, embracing the warmth and comfort of the moment. The motion made her top shift up further, unveiling the slightest trace of her lower back. I took a deep breath, striving to maintain my attention on the dialogue, yet my determination was beginning to fade. Slender. At last, she rose, grasping the jar and making her way to the loft. "Well, I'm going to call it a night," she said, lingering at the base of the stairs. "Thank you once more, Mark. This weekend has already unfolded beautifully." "Good night," I found myself captivated, observing her climb the winding staircase. I watched her intently as she ascended into the loft, the echo of her footsteps gradually diminishing into silence. Once more, I found myself alone, reclining on the couch as I exhaled deeply, the tightness in my chest stubbornly lingering. A sense of foreboding washed over me, hinting that this weekend was poised to unravel into something far more intricate than I had ever imagined. The next morning, I was stirred from my slumber by the relentless buzzing of my alarm, a sound that pierced through the stillness of dawn. The night lingered, shrouding the world outside in darkness, while the cabin wrapped me in an unexpected chill. As I emerged from the warmth of my bed, a gentle shiver coursed through me, my feet meeting the cool embrace of the hardwood floor. My thoughts lingered in a haze, remnants of a night filled with restless dreams. Visions of Chloe gliding down the stairs last night, her spirit unburdened, her radiant smile, they have etched themselves into my memory, lingering far beyond their time. Possess. With a gentle shake of my head, I urged myself to concentrate. Today unfolded as a quest for the hunt, nothing else mattered. With haste, I slipped into my lightweight thermal gear, layering it beneath my familiar camouflage hunting attire. As I emerged from my room, the delicate aroma of coffee brewing in the kitchen welcomed me like an old friend. Chloe seemed to be awake, or at least that was my assumption. I shouted up to the loft to confirm. "Chloe, it's time to embark on your journey." As I spoke, my voice sliced through the tranquil morning air. Her sleepy reply arrived just a moment later. "All right, just a moment please." As I immersed myself in the morning ritual, the enticing aroma of bacon and eggs danced in the air, sizzling joyfully in the pan. Though my culinary skills were modest, I had managed to master a handful of straightforward dishes throughout the years. As the aroma of food wafted through the cabin, I could hear her footsteps ascending the spiral staircase. As I turned to welcome her, my breath hitched in my throat. Chloe glided down the stairs, unadorned and free, her movements slow and unhurried, as though her damp hair framed her face, and her skin glowed in the gentle light that filtered through the cabin's windows. I swiftly averted my gaze, warmth creeping into my cheeks as embarrassment washed over me. "Good morning," she said, her voice dancing through the air, carefree and bright, as if the world around her was perfectly in tune. "Morning," I whispered, my gaze fixed on bacon. "You may wish to consider putting something on. The air is crisp and biting, a chill that wraps around you like a cloak." She chuckled gently, the sound playful in its essence. "Oh, come on, Mark, don't be so reserved, it's merely skin." I gripped the spatula tightly, caught in a moment of uncertainty, pondering my next words. My heart raced as she glided by, reaching for a jar of peanut butter from the fridge. She leaned slightly over the counter, her back to me, utterly unfazed by her state of undress. Though I endeavored to focus on the stove, the allure of a fleeting glance proved irresistible. Exasperating. "Honestly," I said, striving to maintain a calm tone. "We're setting off shortly, the chill will bite out there." With a decisive turn, she began her ascent back upstairs. All right, I'll put on my clothes," she replied, throwing me a playful smile over her shoulder. "Fear not, for I shall be prepared." I released a breath I hadn't known I was holding, shaking my head as I concentrated on arranging the food on the plate. When she descended once more, she was clad entirely in her hunting attire, appearing as if the earlier events had never transpired. With a swift motion, she took her plate and settled in beside me at the table, enthusiastically sharing tales of the adventures that await. Yet the tension that lingered between us was unmistakable, at least in my eyes. Each laugh, each smile she offered felt imbued with a hint of something left unsaid. It was a puzzle. Whether she was putting me to the test or simply embodying her true self, free-spirited and unrestrained. Regardless, it was increasingly difficult to overlook. Once the morning meal was finished, we packed our gear onto the ATV, ready for the adventure ahead. Chloe ascended to the seat behind me, her arms encircling my waist as I ignited the engine's roar. The crispness of the morning air nipped at my cheeks, yet the comforting warmth of her presence enveloped me from behind, a sensation I could not overlook. She held on fiercely as we raced through the woods, the ATV slicing through the shadows. As we arrived at the hunting spot, I assisted her off the ATV and passed her the rifle. "Ready for the adventure ahead?" "From here we walk," I said, my voice softer than usual. With a nod, her excitement shone through, unmistakable and vibrant. "Guide the journey." As we journeyed through the woods toward the blind, the stillness of the forest echoed the quietude that enveloped us, whispering that I was inching perilously near to a boundary I had no right to breach. Yet, the way Chloe cast her gaze my way when she believed I was unaware, the subtle arch of her lips when she smiled, it felt as though she was fully aware of the effect she had. And somehow, I sensed that this hunting trip held a significance beyond mere deer. The forest lay in a serene hush, a tranquility that only the dawn could bestow. Chloe trailed closely behind me as we ventured toward the hunting blind. With each step, her boots whispered against the carpet of fallen leaves, the sound a gentle murmur in the stillness of the moment. I cast a few furtive glances back at her, checking to see if she could maintain the pace, yet she appeared more than equipped for the journey ahead. Her resolve was unmistakably carved upon her visage. It was impossible not to be captivated by her swift adaptability, even as I made an effort to rein in my wandering thoughts. Upon arriving at the blind, I paused and faced her. "Text, this is it," I said as I pointed towards the quaint little structure hidden among the trees. "It may not be extravagant, but it certainly fulfills its purpose." Chloe nodded, her eyes sparkling with anticipation. "It is simply exquisite." With a determined spirit, I ascended the modest ladder and entered, graciously holding the door ajar for her to follow. She trailed behind, onto the bench next to me. The space was snug, perfectly suited for two, adorned with a handful of petite windows that framed the view beyond. An opening lies before us. As the first light of dawn broke, a gentle golden hue began to embrace the trees, heralding the start of a new day. It was a sight I had witnessed countless times before. Yet this morning, it carried a different weight. I passed Chloe her rifle, my voice barely above a whisper. "Always prioritize safety, ensure the barrel is directed away, and refrain from loading it until you are prepared to take your shot." She nodded, her expression grave and contemplative. "Understood." I reclined against the wall, observing her as she shifted her stance. Her movements were intentional and sharp, each one crafted with care. For a time, we lingered in quietude, our breaths the sole sound in the stillness. Whispers in the tiny room. The atmosphere surrounding us was thick, laden not only with the excitement of the hunt, but also with an unspoken tension that lingered in the air. I endeavored to concentrate on the clearing before me, searching for any hint of movement, yet my mind continually wandered back to Chloe. She moved closer, her knee gently grazing against mine. I cast a fleeting look her way, yet she appeared wholly absorbed in the scene before her, eyes fixed on the expanse of the field. I reassured myself that it was merely a trivial mishap. Yet that gentle brush ignited a spark within me. Once upon a time, in a world filled with endless possibilities, there existed a singular being who embarked on a journey of self-discovery. This individual, with a heart full of dreams and a mind brimming with imagination, sought to weave tales that would captivate the hearts of many. Each step taken was a brushstroke on the canvas of life, painting vibrant stories that danced in the minds of those who listened. With every word spoken, a new adventure unfolded, inviting all to join in the magic of the narrative. And so the journey continued, a testament to the power of storytelling and the beauty of shared experiences. I tightened my jaw, compelling myself to maintain my concentration. After a moment, Chloe shattered the stillness. "It's southwest serene in this place," she murmured, her tone gentle and soothing. I gave a nod. "That's one of the many reasons it captivates me. Only you, the woods, and the stillness." She smiled, her gaze briefly intertwining with mine before it drifted elsewhere. "Gratitude fills my heart for your kind gesture in bringing me along. I understand it wasn't your top pick, but it truly holds great significance." In that moment, I found myself pausing, caught in a web of uncertainty about how to reply. "It's not an issue," I declared at last. "Each person should have the chance to encounter this at least once in their lifetime." The minutes unfurled like a long, winding tale, the tension in the air thickening with each heartbeat, drawing the listener deeper